from there.
Yeah, sure. My name's Les Gallagher. I'm in the Financial Freedom Ninja Group. Been in there for about a year now, just over a year. Just gone 12 months at the end of April. And I'm a full-time trader now. I trade Forex every day, full-time. This is my job. It's my main source of income. And that's what I do. So that's me.
No, cool. Thank you for coming on, mate. I asked Les at the beginning of the week if you'd mind kind of coming on and just kind of helping us get to where he is by giving us some advice and kind of answering some of your questions if you have any. Because I know some of you would have liked to ask when he kind of went through it with Paul. So has anyone got any questions for Les, just on like how he started and where he is now and how he got there?
I can tell you that. I can start that off.
That's fine. Yeah, if you could, mate. Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll tell you a little bit. I don't know what you want to hear from us. I don't want to bore anybody.
No, it's not. You're not boring at all, mate. No, it's fine. Like, this will help a lot of the guys. So
right, going back in time. Obviously, I'm a little bit older than some of you's on here who I can see. I'm 58 years old. I've been self-employed since 2009. I've had a couple of businesses, a couple of online businesses. Prior to that, I worked at Nissan, a local car factory down the road from where I live. I was there for 22 years. Prior to that, I was in the Navy for 9 years from when I left school. Well, back in 2009, I decided after 22 years I'd had enough of this corporate bullshit, what I was involved in. I was a shift manager and things like that. I was working in health and safety, and I was doing all sorts of things, and it was just like I had enough of things like that. So 2009, I was 47 years old, and I had the opportunity to leave. Not, they didn't ask us to leave, but I volunteered, and they said, yeah, you go 58,000 redundancy at the time, and a couple of Nissan cars, which I sold straight away. So I ended up with about 70 grand, 75,000 I had in the bank at the time, 2009. And what I done then was, prior, while I was working at Nissan, and the you do at the moment was builders, and you might be self-employed, you might be working for somebody. Well, I've done both, so it should resonate with you. To leave 2009, had enough, and had a few bob in the bank, right? So I was looking around about 6 months, and for 6 months, except spend money, right? Which is easy to do. All I done was spend money. I thought, well, this is great. This went on holiday, bought some nice things, and the mindset thing, what I was in there, and I ended up spending, bought myself a motorbike and stuff like that, relived my youth, and fell off it a few times and got back on and bought another one. And I've done all those things, but it got to the stage where I had to find something to do. So I started trading Forex back in 2009. Now, back in 2009, there wasn't any Forex companies around like what's happening now. You were pretty much on your own. You could open an account, a broker's account. You can go and trade Forex. There wasn't anything. There wasn't YouTube. Wasn't like it was now. You couldn't go and watch videos and maybe learn things like that. So I was trading Forex with a guy from Hawaii called George Smith. The bloke's passed on now. God rest him. But I did learn a lot from him, but I wasn't very successful at it, right? And I don't think neither was he. It was like the internet thing, and stuff like that. But anyway, cut long story short, I didn't make any money from it. I put like 500 quid in a broker's account, and I ended up losing about 180 quid. I had 320 left. So I just drew the 320 quid out, and I just like closed the account, and I never thought anything more of it. Started a business, got involved in property. I built a business in property, a residential property business, typical bricks and mortar. Spent a few years building that up. You know, it was tough. Nearly lost my house twice. But eventually I built it up to where I was making quite a bit of money. But the problem was I was spending a hell of a lot of time, 25, 30,000 miles a year. Just to give you a little bit of background here. It was like, I was thinking, well, Les, what are you doing? You know, you need to find something. So you need to find something where you're not like busting your arse all the time and they don't pay you for 3 months. So all that sort of stuff. If you're self-employed, you know what it's like. It's either feast or famine. All the invoices come in together, and then because you haven't been paid for 3 months, you owe it all out, and you're running around. You're a type of busy fool. And anyway, I started looking at stuff online. How I could earn a living online and stuff like that. So that I ended up doing a couple of things. I won't bore you with the details with that. Like, but you know, I ploughed a few thousand. I've lost a few thousand quid along the way as well. More than a few thousand actually. Getting involved with some things. I like to think I'm pretty switched on. I'm pretty intelligent. But you know, you do get suckered into these things. You do invest money in them, and they don't work out for one reason or the other, right? Anyway, on one of these ones, I met Paul Turner, and Paul, were both invested in the same business. And I met Paul, and Paul was invited to talk at on a course I was doing, and that's just my grandson there. Anyway, I met Paul Turner there. He was invited to speak. Course obviously resonated with us. So after Paul had finished what he was doing, I made a beeline and went and had a chat with him and asked him what he was up to and what he was doing. And anyway, Paul mentioned he was trading Forex, and I said, "Oh, I traded Forex like back in 10 years. I think it was 2019 when I met Paul. Yeah, 2019." And I said, "Oh, doing Forex and we'll do this and do it. Look, just come and have a look and see what you think." So anyway, showed us a few things, had a chat with him, and I joined. Now, the academy, what you know it now, and I'm just assuming that none of you, most of you, or all of you, have been in less than probably 6 months. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, it was like a nightmare. It was a total nightmare. You know, I paid like $250 or whatever it was to join. And they were doing a thing with Brandon Boyd called Boyd's Pips, and they had swipe trades and stuff like that. And I spent 3 months. What I done was I opened a broker account, I put 500 quid in it, and I spent 3 months and I didn't make any money. And I thought, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I was on the verge of actually like quitting, like just packing it in and thinking, you know, this is like a load of rubbish. It doesn't work for me. But one thing happened, right? What happened was, and there's a lesson here, right? The trade house, right? The trade house guys got involved, right? Now, the trade house guys, if you don't know them, they're just the young lads, a bit like yourselves, the gamers. They play games, computer games and stuff like that. They got involved, and it was all about beating the system, beating the banks at their own game and stuff like that. And they started like learning about footprints, what they leave and stuff like that. I was absolutely fascinated by that. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. So I started following them. In the meantime, I was doing DeLorean. I was doing bounce back. I was doing pivots. I was doing levels. I was doing Gold Cup. I was doing BYOB. I was doing 25 to Life, wasn't there then. I was doing Steady. I was doing all the banker stuff. So I had about 9 or 10 different things going, right, on a 500 quid account, right? And what I was doing was I was taking all these trades, whatever they were saying, right? I wasn't doing any like studying. I wasn't doing the academy. I wasn't learning about support and resistance and about how the markets move. And, you know, I was just like thinking, yeah, I'll just follow these guys. How easy can it be? All I've got to do is they tell me to put this trade on, I'll just put it on. Cut long story short, I lost money, right? I didn't blow an account, but me 500 quid went down to about 340. And I think it was about 6 months. The company had gone through a rebranding phase. No, about 8 months I'd been in then. They'd rebranded the company and they were doing different things and stuff like that. And they're doing like a relaunch. So anyway, they changed a few things. But at that time, I thought, right, this is it. I'm just going to stop everything. And all the stuff I was subscribing to, I even cancelled Vibrata, right? All I had was the harmonic scanner. And I started doing BYOB with the harmonic scanner. Then what that did was it focused me on the one thing, BYOB, with the harmonic scanner. I wasn't looking for vibrato to tell us trades and stuff like that. All I had was the harmonic scanner. The pattern would come on and it would say a buy or a sell. I would put the BYOB settings on and I just started doing that. In the meantime, Paul decided that he would do some live trading. He asked me if I would do a live session. There was a few people said, well, we're at work all day, we can't get on, so can somebody do it at night? So I started off doing it at 6:30, then it went to 7 o'clock. I've got to tell you, I didn't have a clue what I was talking about. All I knew was BYOB, stochastic in the extreme, saw flip, flat bottom, flat top candle. Yeah, it's good to go. Let's get in it. And that's all I was doing. And it was an absolute nightmare. But it was a great learning curve for me. The thing what changed for me was the focus of just focusing on the one thing. And I can't say this enough. And I know there's people on here. And I was who've done different things. I know I've had a message. I know Connor before Connor joined. Connor was messaging me. I think that's about it. I think it's just Connor who's on here. But yeah, I know Connor messaged me before he joined. He was asking us. He was in my public group where I've got the BYB harmonic scanner. I sent him a few messages and stuff like that. Obviously Connor joined us here now. But I did give him a little bit of advice and whatever he asked us, I think I answered it. But that I'm going off a little tangent here. But the light bulb moment was when I just started focusing on one thing. Right now, the one thing I focused on was the banker strategy. Right, and I've got to tell you, with the banker strategy, it's great. If you want to look at charts all day, if you want to look at how the markets move, how price moves, if you want to look at market structure, if you want to look at candles, and if you is wrong, it's the same what John Doherty does with his head and shoulders patterns, the zone trading and whatever else he's doing now. It's great. John lives 2 miles down the road from me, by the way, so I know him anyway. But what John's doing is absolutely fantastic. The problem we've got is when we all want to make money, we all want to change the situation that we are in, or we want to make our lives better. Whatever your reason is for being here now, what tends to happen is you have all these things coming at you. It's BYOB, it's 25 to life, John's doing zone trading. What about the steady trade? What about Barley at Granville? Why don't you follow this? Why don't you do it? And it's just like mind blowing. Honestly, it is. The best advice I can give you is just pick one thing and get good at that, right? Just pick one thing and get good at that, because I've done them all, and you it's like anything, right? You don't really get anywhere, and that's what happened. And for a long time, I was using 0.01 lot sizes, and so I've been there. I've done 0.01 lot sizes and started off small, taking all these trades, winning, losing, and it just flatlined along like that. Right? Lose money, come back up, lose, a little bit more. I didn't have any clue. I didn't have a clue what trades I was taking. I wasn't tracking them. I didn't know what I was doing, right? To tell you the truth. And that's when I said, right, this is it. You either do this or you just pack it in and quit, right? Well, I don't quit anything normally. I like to see through to the end. So that's what I done. And I just said to myself, right, and this was in February, right, this year, February the 28th. I made the decision then, right, that I was going to do two things, right? I was just going to concentrate, right, on getting 100 grand in my account, right? I wanted a 6-figure broker account, and I wanted to get the chairman 10 in the company, and that was back at the end of February, right? The easiest one to do, and I've got to tell you this, is to get the 100 grand in your broker's account, right? That is the easiest one to do, right? You don't need 100 grand in a broker's account, by the way, and I wouldn't recommend you have any more than 10,000 in an account anyway. So you need to. That's for later on. I can take. I'll certainly come back if you want us to and explain about that when we're all getting rich here. But there were a couple of targets I set myself, right? So all I've done in March and April is all I did was BYOB, right? Because the reason I wanted to do that was to, I know it works, right? 93% success rate, right? I know it works. I've done BYOB trades. I wanted to go back to that to prove to me and to prove to other people who are saying BYOB doesn't work, that it does work, that you can get your 10 or 20 pips a day and you can make the money that you want, right? Now, I'm not going to talk about money, but I've got to tell you the period I'm at now, right, this exact moment, right, I've done 3 trades today, 3 trades on a Friday, bank holiday in the UK, non-farm payroll in the US, and I had a trade, right? This is the way I trade. I had a trade, I deliberately took a trade for non-farm payroll news coming out, right? Because I had an idea. I didn't know, I haven't got a crystal ball, but I had an idea that where price would want to go, right? Now, on that particular trade, it was on GBP CAD. I went 32 pips in drawdown, right? But it came back, right? It came back, and I ended up taking 17 pips out of the trade, right? 17 pips profit, right? Now that might not sound much, right? But what I'm talking about $20 lot sizes, yeah, right? So when you're going 32 pips in drawdown and you've got a $20 lot size, it can get a little bit scary, right? Or you start thinking, whoa, gee, what's going on in the alley? The way to deal with that, right? And you can correct us and, just jump in anytime you want with questions. Just ask us anything you want. But how it changed for me, right, was if I concentrated, and that's why, what Sean did and what Jules did with the video where you're going for 5 pips for 3% a day, right? You can go for 1 pip, 3% a day if you want. You can go for 2. Well, obviously it's going to, you need to cover your commission, right? Go for 2 pips a day if you want, right? For your 3%. It can get a bit scary, but there's a level where you think, I don't know what, if you want to, I never trade the 1 minute, I never trade the 3 minute, I never trade the 5 minute. I look at them, I go down and look at those time frames. The only time frames I trade are the 15 minute and the 1 hour, right? Or the 15 minute and the 1 hour. And I do look at other stuff, right? But I got to, I've got to a stage where if I can do 10 pips a day, right? And this is 10 pips a day, 3% a day is great, right? You can easily do that. And I mean easily do that, right? If you get in the right frame of mind, you can easily do that. And the way I deal with it is I detach the money from the pips. I only look at pips, whether it's 10 cents a pip or whether it's $20 a pip. I only look at the pips, because if you look at the money, you get scared. The fear the fear, right? And we've all got it. You get overcome by fear. You get anxious. You start worrying, right, about trades and stuff like that, and you're thinking, oh, have I done the right thing? I'm 5 pips in drawdown. That would, you know, it's $2, it's $10. I mean, I'm talking in dollars because that's how I trade, in dollars, because it's easy for me to work out. Lot sizes are based on dollars. There's a little bit of difference, but I trade in dollars. So, yeah.
Sorry, but I don't mean to interrupt. It's
Yeah, so go on, interrupt. I'm just rambling.
That's sorry. Quite a few of the guys that they've transferred from demo now and doing live, and they were doing really well on demo, but now they're on live. They're treating it a little bit differently, and I think that obviously that is down to mindset, because some people, if they get the $100,000 demo account and then they put £100 in their live account, you kind of need to treat it the same, but there's still that essence of they hold back where they're really confident in demo and wouldn't look at their phones or the laptop and just get on with it. They're checking it now, or even not going into the trade now, because it's real money now, and then that's then having a negative impact on some of their trades.
Yeah, it's the fear. It's the fear factor, right? It's a big shift, because when you're in demo, you're thinking, oh, it's pretend money. And I've got to tell you, I've got 2 demo accounts, right? And I haven't loaded them up with 100,000 or 1 million or whatever. All I've ever done with my 2 demo accounts, put $1,000 in each one, and I trade on demo, right? When I take a trade on demo, I treat the trade exactly the same as what I would do live, right? And you've got to do that. Everything you do, to me, it's a game. You're playing the game, right? Sorry, I've just knocked my mic there. You're playing a game, right? It's not our game. We don't make the rules, but they're letting us play this game, right? And the game is money. And money, and Paul Turner will probably explain this better to you. Money is a tool, right? Money in motion makes more money, right? Money is a tool to make you more money. You've got to learn how to use money as a tool. You haven't got to fear money. And what happens is we come into forex trading in your mind. Once demo is great, you start on demo because you're not losing anything. Once you put 100 quid in your account, it becomes real, and you have this block now that's telling you, oh, this is risky. This is risky. Even though you've got the proof, you've done it on demo, you've traded really successfully on demo. As soon as you switch to that live, there's a little mental thing there saying, oh, you're trading with real money here. This is risky, right? So it's a big hurdle to get over, right? But you've got to treat it just exactly the same. And all I do, right, what I did to get over that hurdle was just look at the pips. Concentrate on the pips. Don't worry about the money. Concentrate on the pips, right? Just look at the pips. That's all it's about, the pips.
How long was you on demo for when you first started, mate? Like, being now, how long do you think?
4 days. About 4 days. About 4 days.
About 4 days.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've traded Forex before, right? So I came in and I thought, I know what I'm doing. I've done Forex before. I don't need to do on demo. I'm going to stick 500 quid in the account and let's go. This time next year we'll be millionaires, Rodney. That was the whole thinking behind it. But it's all right for me to say to you, stay on demo for however long it takes until you've got a 90% win rate, right? To me, right, I know other people say that, and I'm not knocking them or criticizing them in any way, shape or form, right? For me personally, right, I'm not going to stay on demo. If I get involved in something and it's got a 90% or 93% success rate, right, I don't need to go on demo for too long. Don't need to stay on there. You go on demo to get used to what you're doing, get used to your MT4 platform, get used to your broker, get used to putting trades on, buys and sells, and if you're doing 25 to life, get used to doing buy limits, buy stops, sell limits, sell stops. Do all that on demo, right? Well, you've got two strategies, yeah, BYOB and 25 to life, that are both successful, right? Both successful in their own right. You've got two strategies now that's going to make you money. So, in my opinion, you don't want to stay on demo too long. You only want to be on demo till you learn the ropes, till you know how to put a trade on, you know how to put stop losses on, you know how to put your take profits in. And I've got to tell you, I do everything on my phone, right? I put all my trades on my phone. I do analysis on TradingView on my PC sometimes, but most of everything I do is done on my phone. I do use exit managers sometimes, and that is on my computer. But once I've got it set up on my computer and it's running, I've got a VPS as well, so I've got all that stuff. I can just let it run. I've got Exit Manager on there.
I've got a couple of guys that have started doing, well, they pretty much did before with demo, and they're not doing massively well with it, and they feel that it's not working for them. Advice-wise, what would you give?
What's not working for them, Sean?
They're not winning trades, but then they're still learning. So like we've gone since most of them have been in. They've tried BYOB, they've tried 25 to life. We even had a week of trying easy pips, and now we're focusing more on similar to what John's doing with the bits he's doing, and also following Oram Wright on the live session. So, and a lot of these guys have picked it up really, really, really well, especially with the levels and stuff like that. So we're kind of trying to point more towards that way. But I think some of the guys in there, I don't know. It's kind of because they've lost money. They're a bit disheartened with it all.
Don't. The best advice I can give you is don't jump from one to the other. Right? There's a lot of stuff going on. Right? There's a lot of stuff John puts out, which is great. Right? My own personal opinion. What John's doing with his own trading and stuff like that, looking for left shoulders and drawing lines across. From my point of view, that's just order blocks, what we call order blocks in smart money concepts and banker strategies and stuff like that. It's where you get that last sell to buy candle or buy to sell candle. Yeah. It's just order blocks. He's just drawing lines across. He's waiting for it to come back, retest the area, and that's how you trade order blocks. Right? John's doing exactly the same. He's calling it something different, which is fine. It's great. He knows everything about head and shoulders. I know everything about order blocks. So it's the same thing, which has got different names for it. Right. All right. Maybe I look into it. The way I do it is I'm looking at reasons why, and John's just looking at support and resistance. Right. It's more than support and resistance. That's why you'll find that sometimes when you do the zone trading and you maybe get into trades, you lose them, right? They will go against you and you do lose them. Not every trade wins. It doesn't matter what you do. We understand that. But you might find that some of these trades you get into, you're not quite understanding what's exactly going on. It's not a case of just drawing lines across. But that's a conversation for another time. All I would say is, whatever is out there, whatever anybody's telling you, from what you've said there, Sean, you've gone from BYOB to 25 to life, you now onto the zone trading, right? All I would say is, right, you've got people in the group who are successful at any one of them. So what you need to decide as a group is you need to learn everything you can about that. What I would say is learning about head and shoulders, left shoulder, right shoulder, necklines, and all sorts of stuff like that. If you want to learn about that, that's great. But if you're in a hurry, or if you are in a situation where you need to put money in your account, right? The length of time It might take you to learn that and get your head around it. Might not suit you. And again, you've got right. What I'm trying to say is, right, 10 pips a day will get you wherever you want to go. You've just got to be that little bit patient, right?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course you can, Carl. Go on.
Did you ever struggle with BYOB? And if so, how did you kind of, which is why they've kind of left it, even though they're following lives, and it's kind of getting from it not working to it working, if that makes sense.
When you do BYOB, the initial concept of it from Tasha Monique Dyer to a system, to a strategy she created is stochastic in the extreme, flat bottom candle, right? Though in theory, it's as simple as that, right? Because what you're doing is you're just trading, whether it's a trend reversal, a pullback, or whatever. You're just trying to catch pips on that, right? And she specifically uses it with vibrata, right? She specifically uses it with vibrata. So you've got to understand that straight away, right? The initial concept of BYOB is to be used with vibrata, right? It's as simple as that. The Ninjacator, which came along later from Kevin Ohm, the AO MACD, which I introduced after testing it for a while. For 4 or 5 weeks, we tested that, 4 of us. They were just extras, right, to help you see when you could get into a trade. BYOB sounds easy in principle, where you just look for these 3 steps, but you do need to do a little bit more analysis. You do need to understand market structure. You do need to understand where your previous high is, where your previous low is, right? But what I do personally, when I trade it, all I do is I have the BYOB on TradingView. I have the Ninjacator on, not the Plus. I have the AO MACD on. Sometimes I put the stochastic on. It doesn't really matter. You can have it or you don't have it. You can have it as a little comfort blanket if you like. But the AO MACD will give you all you need with that green or red dot, right? The decision you then have to make is whether it's against the trend or with the trend, right? And what tends to happen is that when you take trades, you tend to take trades that are going against the trend, right? And what you're doing is you are basically trying to catch the trend right at the beginning of it, so you can get that 10 pips. The AO MACD with the green dot and the red dot, and that the alert BYOB up or BYOB down, or Ninja up, Ninja down. All that is telling you is that the SARS flip and you've got a flat top or a flat bottom candle, right? That's all it's telling you. The AO MACD, right, that's the secret sauce. You've got to understand what's going on that AO MACD. If price is above, if those volume bars, are above the 0 line, what we call the medium line, it's still in an uptrend. And if it says a sell, right, you need to be waiting for that candle to close below that 20 MA on that Bollinger Band. That 20 MA is really important, right? We changed the 20 from the 50, right? Because they used to trade with a 50 on there. And we said, no, 50's for, higher time frames for daily and stuff like that. We aren't doing this. We're doing this on the 15-minute to 1 hour, which it tends to work better. The 20 MA is really important when you're trading against the trend, right? Regardless of what anybody else tells you, whatever their theories are, whatever their ideas are of how this works, right? When we traded with this, right, and we tested it, we're back tested with it, we've done 100 live trades, right, with it, right? Before I actually approached Paul Turner and said to him, look at Paul, we've been using this AO MACD, we think it's like really good. This is what we think, this is what we think. Shall we take it to the group and introduce it? Right? Now, anything like that, what you've got to understand is when you introduce these things, they come in and then people see them and they see different things. Automatically, people say, well, I can make this better. Or I've been doing this for the last 5 years. I don't think this is working, so I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do my own little thing. Right? And it's happened, and I'm not criticising anybody, by the way. It's happened with a few people. They've all got different ideas, right, of how this works, of how they should be doing this and how they should be doing that. They're bringing the stochastic back in. They're drawing trend lines on, and you don't need to do that. You do not need to do that. All you need to understand, right, is where price is going and where it might go, right? And that's all you need to understand, whether that's on a 5 minute, a 15 minute, a 1 hour, or a 4 hour, 8 hour daily, right? That's all you need to understand. And the easiest way to understand that is by drawing or using the auto support, right, which is a really fantastic tool, which gives you the support and the resistance lines. And that's all I do. I trade between them, right? Sometimes I get it wrong, right? Sometimes I get it wrong, right? But I've got to tell you, I got it wrong the other day, Monday, I think. But 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My last 11 trades have all won. I had a loser. And then I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 winning trades. Then I had a break even. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Then I had a loser. All right. So I don't know what that is. 40 odd trades, 2 losers, 1 break even. Right.
And that's why you work from home, mate.
That's, yeah. All right. That is, I'm telling you now, right, that's doing BYOB. Right. Now, I'm not telling you anybody, I'm not saying that I'm a fantastic trader by any means, right? I'm just using the tools we've got. Yes, I have some knowledge, right? If a trade goes against me, right, and it happens all the time, right, I don't see it as a losing trade. I've either got in the trade too early or I've got in it too late. Then I have to wait for it to come back, right? And I've got to tell you, I'm not blowing my own trumpet here. I am normally right. I am normally right, right? And the only reason I'm normally right is because the indicators tell me the saw flip, the flat top or the flat bottom, the EOMACD with the cross, whether it's above or below the 0 line, right? Or if you want to take a trade against the trend, closes above or below that 20 MA, right? Don't worry about what other people say. Oh yeah, just take the trade. As long as there's enough space between price and the 20 MA, just get in. Just get in. You'll be fine. No. There's a reason why that 20 MA for price to close when you're taking a trade against the trend. Now, when you take a trade with the trend, so let's just say it's in a downtrend, right? You've got the BYOB down or the Ninja down. You've got the red dot. The 20 MAs changed from red to green, from green to red. Everything's in your favor. Get in the trade. Do you know what? If that trade goes against you, if it starts pulling back and you go into drawdown, I can tell you now, right, that it's just a pullback and it's just a retracement. And if you look at your AO, if you look at your auto support, and you draw your support and resistance trend lines on there, and you don't need to do that with the EO support, if you put them on there, you know where price is going to go, and you know it's going to bounce off that and it's going to come back down, right? Now, there's a little bit more knowledge to it, right? What I use, what I've learned with banker strategy about mitigation. I know Connor's looked at it, and balancing candles and stuff like that. Yeah, all that can come into play, right? So if a trade goes against me, I can switch to another strategy, and I can look at this and I can say, right, where's price going to go? I'm 20 pips in drawdown, which I don't like. Where's this going to go? Is it going to go further? Do I need to get out of this trade now and just take my medicine? Or is this trade going to come back? Where do I think it's going to go? And then I start looking on higher time frames and stuff like that and things, and then I might be in a trade for a day or a couple of days. But what I do then is the 10 pips goes out the window then, because I'm in the bigger picture mode now. I just switch from the 10 pip and I'm saying, right, where's this going to go? I might need to go into 50 pip drawdown here, right? But if it does, right, and this is where you start getting advanced, right? If it does, right, I will trade when I'm in drawdown. If I go into more drawdown, I will take a trade if it's going the other way. So if I'm in a buy and it's going for a sell, I will take a sell trade.
Would you do that at higher lot size?
I will take 10 pips on the way down.
Oh, right.
No, I use
you keep it the same
sizes. I take it. Yeah, I keep it the same, and I take the trade down. So what happens then is, if I'm in 20, 30 pips drawdown, and it goes 40 pips drawdown, but I'm trading it the way it's going, I'll do it for 10 pips, and I'll get me 10 pips. So I've got 10 pips back out of that, knowing that it's going to come back eventually, right? Eventually. So I'm talking about a little bit advanced stuff here. But every trade I've taken, I don't post them in the reigning pips when I do that. The only ones I post in the reigning pips are the ones where I've took a genuine BYOB based on the saw flip, the flat top or the flat bottom, the EOMAC-D, the 20 MA has been in the right direction. All of them, them's the ones I post. Anything else, what I do when I manage that, if I take 10 pips on the way up, 20 pips on the way down, I don't put them on. What I do when it eventually comes back and it hits my 10 pips, I'll then say I've took 10.
I think
right now sometimes I'm like anybody else. I'm like anybody else. I get bored. I might be in a trade for a while, and I'm going for 10 pips. It might have hit 4 pips, and I keep going 6 pips, 10 pips drawdown. Then it comes back down to the area, and it hits 4 pips or 5 pips again. I'll get out the trade. I'm not messing about. I'm not going to wait for it to go back, and I'll just say, right, that's it. I'll just take 2, 3, 4, 5 pips. I'll just wait for it to come back and say, right, that's it. I'm out. And then I never go back. I never go back and look and say, oh my God, it's went on and done 1,000 pips. But once I'm out of it, that's
I
it.
think
It's done and dusted.
a lot of that is the experience as well as the experience that you've got. I think a lot of people are joining the group, the Ninja group, or even our little plumbing group, and they're expecting to know it all within a week.
No,
to be
you
successful in a week, but it's not going to happen. I know a lot of the experience plays a big part in it.
I spent the first 3 months in the IM Academy in the Ninja group, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. First 3 months, I didn't have a clue. Honestly, I didn't. I was doing like Boyd's pips, and at the time we were doing ECC 11 strategy, and honestly, I was like anybody else. I was doing 0.01 lot sizes and jumping from one thing to another and thinking, yeah, this is it. I just got to copy these guys and that'll be it. It'll be great. It doesn't work that way. You have got to put a little bit of work in. But what I'm saying to you now, if you're struggling now, the reason you're struggling is because you're getting distracted with other stuff that's going on. You maybe take a couple of BYOB trades. You might get in too early. You might get in too late. There's a question in the chat there about stop losses. How do you manage stop losses? Stop losses are really important, right? Really important. But what you've got to remember is with BYOB, your stop loss is dependent on the currency pair and the target you were going for. It's not, BYOB is not a strategy where you can just get in it with a 5 or 10 pip stop loss, because it will hit your stop loss. It will hit your stop loss. So what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that you're using the correct lot size, first of all, so you can manage the trade if it goes against you. Now, when I'm trading GBP pairs in particular, I have a 40 pip stop loss at least, right? Sometimes 50 to cope with it, because I know that GBP pairs can move 40 pips in 1 minute, right? And then they can just as easily come back and go 40 pips the other way in the next 1 minute candle, right? So if you're going to take a trade on a GBP pair and you've got a 10 pip stop loss on, I can tell you now, right, it is more likely to hit your stop loss first before you get your 10 pips, right? That is from experience, right? So you need to decide what pairs you're going to trade. Now, if you can't, if you don't want to get involved in volatility, right? GB pairs are the most volatile. That's why they have the biggest broker spreads, right? What you need to do is you need to be looking at currency pairs that are more suited to how you trade, right? So the easiest way to do that is to break them down by session, right? So if you're going to trade the London session, trade London session pairs, which are GBP, Euro, and CHF, right? Any pairs with them, that's London session. New York session, any pairs with USD card. Asian session, that's AUD, NZD, and JPY. Yeah, you're going to get crossover. And you've got to remember as well, you have majors and you have minors. And what you've got to also work out is that out of all them 28 currency pairs or whatever there is, right, there's only actually about 10, and 75% of the 6.6 trillion a day is actually traded on those 10 pairs. So wouldn't you think, if you're trying to catch your 5 or 10 pips, that you maybe just want to concentrate on those 10 pairs? Then maybe get involved in something like, I don't know, flipping NZD CHF or something like that, what never moves, or AUD NZD. There's a good one. AUD NZD. I never trade AUD NZD. It's like watching paint dry. USD JPY. I was in a USD JPY trade for 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. Waiting for it to move. 3 weeks, right? That was a banker's trade, right? I'd all set up. In the end, I closed the trade out for 8 pips, and I made a loss because of all the flipping swaps I had to pay on that, right? So you've got to understand about currency pairs, and I don't know whether you caught Rob Huntley. It was a little bit of a nightmare with Rob's session this morning, but Rob, he was the first one out of the Ninja group to actually quit his job. He'd done it in 8 months, Rob, and Rob was using what was called a trend breaker strategy at the time. And it was quite similar to what you've been doing, Sean, like where you're going for 5 pips and stuff like that.
Rob was been doing it, yeah.
Yeah, Rob was drawing trend lines and he was just going for 3 to 5 pips.
Mm.
And he was quite successful at that. But what tends to happen, and this is the thing, right? You start making money and you start getting successful at it, and you start thinking, well, I can just go on and switch it on and I can take a trade like every day, and it's no problem, it's great. It never works that way. It's like, the times I come on in the morning, maybe I'm on Paul's session or somebody else's session or even mine, and I hear people say, oh, the markets have been really funny today. The markets are funny every day. The markets are funny every day. It doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter what news is coming. It doesn't matter whether it's red flag, yellow flag, amber, or whatever you want. Those markets are going to be funny any day, right? Because that market is run by 10 banks, right? The interbanks, It's run by 10 banks, right? And they're the ones who are running that market. They are the market makers. They're the ones who's putting the money in order for us to trade because they want to take our money, right? Oh, it's as simple as that. So you've got to understand how the markets move, how currency pairs move, and how they work, right? Oh, there's a little bit more to this. There's a skill, and if you want to learn it, you do have to devote some time to it. Getting back to BYOB, you do all you need to understand with BYOB is if you're trading a 5 minute, right, time frame, if you're trading a 5 minute time frame and you're going for 5 pips, right, all you need to understand is where price is going to go in that 5 minutes, right, or for you to get your 5 pips, right, or all you need to do is understand, and the easiest way to understand that, right, on a 5 minute time frame, in my opinion, right, is not to go up. You don't need to go up to a monthly time frame to see where the trend is because you're scalping. 5 minutes is true scalping. It's true scalping. So this is where you're looking for support and resistance, right? It becomes really, really important on those smaller time frames, right? Because when it hits it, it's going to bounce off and go back up the next one, bounce off that and come back down. It's going to do that. And all you're trying to do is catch a few pips in between, right? You've got to understand how that works. 15 minute, go for 5 to 10 pips. You've got a little bit more time. It's a little bit more subtle in its movements. But on a 15 minute, you've got 3 5 minute candles, right? Oh, in a 15 minute one. And you've got to understand that those candles drive all the rest, right? Oh, that 3 5 minute candles is 1 15 minute candle. 4 15 minute candles is 1 1 hour candle. 4 1 hour candles is 1 4 hour, and so on and so on and so on. Whatever happens down there is going to impact on what's happening up there. And I know people will say, look at the top, right? Start from the top. And it's, I do it. I go up to the daily and I want to know what the bias is. When I see a bias, I want to know whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend. And when I go down to that 15 minute, if I see the 15 minute, if it's in a downtrend and I know that the bias from the monthly or the weekly or the daily or the 4 hourly is down, I'm only going to be selling. And this is what I'm saying. When you're new and you're starting out, find out which way the market's going. If it's going down, you only want to sell. Don't worry about catching the buys, right? Don't worry about catching them buys. Just do the sells because you'll make a lot more money doing that until it turns, and you'll know when the market turns because you wait for it. When the market turns, right? You can draw a trend line if you want, but all you need to do is look at that chart. BYOB, switch it from Heiken Ashi candles to normal candles and just look and say, right, I've got a high, I've got a low, I've got a higher high, I've got a higher low, right? You now know that you're in an uptrend and then you want to be trading buys, and it's in the reverse if it's a sell, right? Well, don't get in that one right at the bottom because it might continue down. This is the biggest thing you have to learn, right? Is not getting into trades too early and not getting into trades too late, and that's what tends to happen. We tend to trade against the trend.
And the thing is also, when you go live as well, Les, especially with these guys, because they're hesitating because they were doing so well on demo, they're doing well on demo because there's no hesitation, because there's no real loss. It's all learning. But if you leave it a minute or so before deciding to get into a trade, in that minute, you could have been 5 pips up, 10 pips up. And that's the problem. It's the timing of getting into it is where I think some of these may struggle because the hesitancy of...
Once I've made the decision, I'll get straight in it. Win, lose, or draw, I'll just get straight in it. Once I've made that decision, I'm in. And people might say, oh, you know, I don't know, like Les, I think it. You know, you're looking at there and it's like it's starting to turn on the 5 minute and it's going to come back, and I'm saying, well, so what? So what? I'm on the 15 minute. I'm going for 10 pips. Yeah, I know, but on the 5 minute, it's like turning and it's going to, yeah, so what? I'm going to go into drawdown for a while. So what? I've got a 20 pip stop loss on. I've got it covered. It's not a problem. That's the way I look at it. You've got a system. You've got a strategy that's winning 9 out of 10 trades, right? Or if I win 9 trades, right, which I've just explained to you there. I mean, I can't really show you. But if I win 9 trades and lose 1, right? If I win 9 trades and I'm going for 10 pips, that's 90 pips, right? Or now on that 10th trade, I lose that, right? And I've got a 40 pip stop loss on that, right? I am still 50 pips up, right? I am still 50 pips up. And that's really important to understand, right? Or you are going to get losing trades. You are going to get losing trades. You will lose trades. You will lose trades. Some of you may well be losing trades now, more than what you're winning, right? But that's just down to the fact that maybe you're not quite understanding what's going on. And Sean, I'm more than happy to do, if you want us to come on, I'm more than happy to do some live trading or stuff like that. It's not a problem.
I appreciate that.
Show you exactly what I do. If it helps, it's not a problem. I mean, I do it every night anyway at 7 o'clock. Yeah, sometimes I get it wrong. 7 o'clock is the wrong time to trade, I've got to tell you that, right? BYOB doesn't really work very well. The markets are slowing down. We do catch a few, but we do lose a few. But I do most of my trading, like one. I normally do 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon.
A lot of the guys find more success in the morning, like quite early. Like Chris done quite a few trades at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and that was him done for the day. And yeah, done it.
Understand these markets, right? Because it's really important, right? Is the sessions what we have? We've got London, New York, and what I call the Asian session, right? Understand that the Asian session from 11 o'clock at night, right, till 5 o'clock in the morning, you've got a 6-hour period there where nothing is going to happen, right? Then from 5 o'clock in the morning till around about 6 to 7, right? It's not exact, but from 5 till around about 6, I would say 7 o'clock, you've got some manipulation that'll happen on every currency pair, right? The Asian session is like, don't get us wrong, Brian Knight lives down in Australia. He makes a fortune trading, right? We're quite fortunate in that the markets are all geared around our time zone, right? But don't get us wrong, Brian still makes a fortune. But understand this, right? What's happening is normally on the Asian session, you have consolidation and the range is restricted normally. Sometimes on currency pairs, you like get a movement of 10 pips from high to low, right. 10 pips. That's all you're getting, 10 pip movements. So you do not want to be trading there. But what they're doing is they're building up consolidation, right? You've got to understand that. And what happens is it's all geared towards the opening of these sessions, right? 7 o'clock in the morning, the European session opens, the German DAX, right, opens, right, which is the second biggest financial market in Europe behind London, right? The DAX opens at 7, right? They're an hour ahead of us, so it's 8 o'clock their time. So you've got this period at 7 o'clock where you'll start seeing this movement. 8 o'clock, when London opens, you get fake outs, right? You get fake outs. And when the fake out means that what it does is it'll go one way, it'll either go up or it'll go down. But normally what it does is it breaks out of the Asian range. And what it's doing is it's telling you we're going up because we want you to buy. And then when you start buying, as soon as you buy, we're going to go down and we're going to take all your stop losses out. And it normally goes down quite rapidly. And you've got to understand what's happening at these particular times. So when you've got all that knowledge in your mind, and then you jump on the computer or or whatever, and you're looking at BYOB, you need to understand what's happening in these movements. You need to understand how these banks move this money. Because they make the rules, it's their game. And we just need to understand that. And we just need to catch a few of these pips when they are making their moves, and that's what it is. And whether it goes up or whether it goes down, what it'll do then is it'll spend the rest of the day or the rest of the morning going up or down for 1 o'clock for when New York opens. And then when the New York session opens at 1 o'clock, you'll get a period of consolidation for about an hour, and then it'll go up or it'll go down. You'll get a fake out up or a fake out down, and it'll go the opposite way. And that's basically how they all work, right? Oh, it's like, you can set your watch by it. Well, you cannot really, because you don't know the exact time. It normally happens, the fake out, and whether it makes a new high or a new low normally happens around 9:30 on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Sometimes it's Thursday, very rarely Friday. But it's just a patience game, and you can wait and catch the pips. But it's just like, I mean, I know I've probably gone on a little bit too long here, but all that knowledge, all that understanding, right? What I'm trying to get across to you is, I haven't known this forever. I've just learned this in the last 12 months since I joined the academy.
Is it going through the academy, mate? Is that how you've kind of picked it up through testing it on demo and doing the academy?
Everything I'm telling you now is I learned from the academy. Everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have my own style, and it's all about your attitude to risk as well. If you're risk averse, if you're frightened, if you're scared, if you've got a fear of losing money, then you need to start with really small lot sizes to build your confidence up. You need to be starting with like maybe 0.01 per $100 in your account. So if you've stuck $100 or $200 or in pounds, you'll have to do the thing, but 0.01. If you've got 200 quid in, you need to be starting at 0.02. Do 20 cent lot sizes. Go for your 5 pips. Win your dollar, and then move on and compound it. Don't be afraid of getting in these trades. What you've got to understand is, right, when I put, and this is a really important point I want to emphasize. I put 500 quid in, and what happened was I went down to 345 pounds, right? So what I done was I drew that out of that broker's account, and then I put it into another broker's account, right? The reason was the first broker's account I was using, the leverage was only 1 to 100, right? So you need to understand this as well. You need a broker where the leverage is at least 1 to 500, right? To get the leverage what you require to get your 3% for 10 pips. Okay? You need 1 to 500. Now, there's other brokers out there, right? Which I've got brokers accounts. But one of Hugo's way, the leverage is 1 to 1,000, right? That is too much, right? That is too much, right? It's great when you trade in crypto, but it's also scary because I've tried that as well. You need 1 to 500, right? You've got to have that. If you're trading at 1 to 30, right? If you have a broker in the UK, they'll only give you 1 to 30 leverage. What 1 to 30 means is, right, that you have to put, you have to get 100 pips, right, to get your 3% on a 1 to 30 leverage, right? That's what it means. So you need to understand that first. So that might be affecting some of you is what you're doing. If that isn't, right, you need to be 1 to 500 straight away so you can get that leverage in. Right, so that might be holding some of you back. You need to understand that. Right, the broker I'm with, IC Markets, I've got a problem with them. Great, so I withdraw money out every Friday. I've just put an order in there. They're based in Australia, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't put your withdrawal in by 3 a.m. UK time, you've got to wait till Monday. But I'll just put mine in after 3 o'clock every Friday, and I haven't got a problem. I'll top it up, put it in PayPal, or Skrill, and I can withdraw straight out to that account. I've never had any issues with them, so I'm not allowed, you know, not supposed to recommend any brokers or stuff like that. But IC markets,
we say IC markets, yeah.
Yeah, IC markets 1 to 500 on a raw account,
that's it.
and that's it, right? Now, all I can say is, right, don't go trading every single pair, right? Or when you're new, pick a couple of pairs, pick the ones that are in session, like I've mentioned before. Just go, yeah, I'll tell you what, right? I'm going to share my screen with you. I know I've been rabbiting on a bit, yeah, but I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to show you something. Just so you can see this, right? Go on, I know there's questions in the, yeah. I'll definitely do the live trading, Aaron and Chris. I haven't got a problem with that. If you want us to come on, I'll show you exactly what I do, right? Don't get frightened if it goes 20 pips in drawdown, right? I'll take the trade live. You don't. You just watch, right? And we'll just see what happens, right? Obviously, you might be in the trade for 2 or 3 hours, so I can't guarantee that you're going to get your 10 pips within a Zoom call. But I'll certainly do the live trading. That's not a problem. Right, so yeah, myfxbook.com. Open an account with these, right? Go to portfolio, add an account in there, set your account up, make sure it's private so nobody else can see it, and then just go on here and add your MT4 account in there. If you use CTrader, do it with that. MT4, just pick this one, MT4, auto update. It'll come on here. Call the account name, whatever you want to call it. Pick your broker. IC markets. Right. Select your server, your live server, whichever one it is. Put your account number in, and then you need an investor password. If you don't know what your investor password is, just go into your MT4 platform, go to options, go to server, and in there, click on change password, and just set up your investor password. Just put your current password in, which is your master password, put an investor password in, and then you put it in there, and that just allows MyFXBook to read your account so they can put some stuff in there, right? But what I want to show you, I mean, if you need help with that, just give us a shout. I know I'll rush through it. Community, go to Outlook, right? Here you go, Outlook. Right, let's hover over here, right? What I've just explained to you there is that 48% of everybody who has an account with myfxbook.com, and I don't know how many there is. I don't know how many is in there. Right? Nearly half of those are just trading Euro USD. Right, look at they're just trading that. So as a starting point, just maybe write this down. Euro USD, right? 36% are trading USD JPY, right? I know I said it's like watching paint dry, but you know, you can jot that down. USD CAD. USD CAD is a great currency pair to trade, right? Or a great currency pair to trade, right? Euro JPY. Euro Chef. I don't like Euro Chef.
Yeah, we don't have much success with any chef.
Yeah, stay away from the chefs. So there you go. Look, let's go back up. Mr. Chef's out. EUD USD, Euro JPY, USD CAD, USD JPY, and Euro USD. Just trade them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. Trade those 5 pairs. Right? Just trade those 5 pairs on BYOB. And I'll tell you now, right, you will see a difference in what you're doing. Understand how the price moves, because they will move a different way on a Monday. And I've got to tell you, I don't trade on a Monday morning, right? I only trade on a Monday afternoon when New York opens, right? And I don't trade on a Friday afternoon. I take trades before New York opens. So I might still be in a trade when the New York session opens, but I don't take any trades then. And 3 o'clock, that's me done. I like to be out of a trade by 3 p.m. So whether it's at 2 pips, 5 pips, I'm out of it, right? I don't like leaving them open over the weekend. I don't mind if it's like if I'm going for a large amount of pips, but if I'm only going for 5 or 10 and I'm 2-3 pips and draw it down, I'll just close the trade out. Just, you know, because I'll get that back, no problem. So just use that as a guide, right? Go and trade where everybody else is trading, because this is where you're going to get movement in the market, right? And this is where your BYOB will work, because these pairs, what I pointed out, those 5 pairs, EUD, USD, Euro JPY, USD CAD, USD JPY, Euro USD. Euro USD, I see markets, no broker spread at all, just pay commission, right? No broker spread on that, always 0. No broker spread involved at all. Some of the others you maybe have half a pip or something. That one there, 0. That's why it's the most popular. And just understand what's going on with it and just trade it. Watch it on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute, whatever you. To me, BYOB with the EO MACD is absolutely fantastic on the 1 hour, right? On the 1 hour time frame. Now, if you were on the 5 minute, the 15 minute, and maybe you missed a BYOB alert, just go up a time frame. Just go from 15 minute up to 30 minutes.
Would you still go for 10 pips on the hour, though?
There. Go up to the 1 hour.
Les,
10, on the hour, I'll probably go for a little bit more.
Yeah. And then on the stop loss size, would you just go down to the last Passat on that? On the hour? Stop
loss, I'll probably look at the SAW. Yeah, probably look at the SAW on the hour. I don't know, I've got that up there. Euro USD. And just understand what's going on. Just understand that on 5 minutes, there's just maybe little pullbacks, stuff like that. Remember that. We're on the 5 minute, just to show you. Right. Well, a great move there. 5 minute one, all the way down. BYOB, there's no green dot. Looks like it's going to turn. Just go up the 15 minute and wait. Just set your alert on the 15 minute and wait. Wait for it to move. I took 6 pips on this today. Euro USD. Not a problem. I had to wait a couple hours for it. Not a problem. Made a couple $100 and I'm talking about it. Like, you know, I mean, it's like 100. It's like, yeah. You will. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it's you know, it's some sort of like it's easy or anything like that. You just need to maybe have a look. And I did go into drawdown on it. I think I went about 7 or 8 pips into drawdown, but in the scheme of things, and it took a while to get where I wanted to go, but I got there eventually. And all I did was traded it off this. I just traded it up. In fact, I'll put on FXC and I'll put it on the Wanda there. Might have the lines. There you are. Look, there's me lines. There's me lines where I've drawn on. There's me lines where I was expecting price to go, and that's where it went down here. So there's the trade I got into on the 15 minute. This one here, right? And I just went for 6 pips. Right, that's where I got in there, and I got in on this candle. It took a while to get where it was going to go, and I just got in for 6 pips. See where the blue line is on the auto support. That'll do me. I'll get on there. I'll get in there for 6.
You could have actually got more, couldn't you? So
yeah, could have stayed in for more. This is a little bit advanced. This is imbalanced stuff where I'm thinking price might go. I'll leave it on. I draw it on the chart and I'll leave it on there because we had this big push up here. later on in the afternoon. Then it's come back down again. And this is a little bit more advanced now. This is like what we call like Wyckoff, like a Wyckoff strategy, Wyckoff schematic, where prices pushed up. This is called distribution. So, I mean, you can learn all this. I learned it from the academy. This is like the upward thrust after distribution. This is like the last test, and then price is going to come down. You're going to get a little bit more. I mean, I wouldn't be entering this trade now, but I've drew these lines on here because I firmly believe just on Euro USD, on this currency pair, where price is now, price is going to come down to here. It's going to come down to there. There's a 50 pip move in there at least. And I've got the support and resistance on down here. It could well come down there. There might be a 70 pip move. Right? Stop loss wise, I'm going to be up here somewhere. Stop loss, it just depends what it's going to look like on Sunday night, Monday, if I decide to maybe trade this. So if you just pick one currency pair, Euro USD, no broker spread on it, everybody trades this, it's the most traded currency pair in the world, and you just trade this currency pair and just trade the ups. There's perfect entry there, okay? Dot, BYOB. Wait for it to close above the 20 MA, like here. Get in the trade, off it goes. Get your 10, stay in for longer if you want. There's a one there, look, on its way back down. Right, look. BYOB down, right? It's above, right? You've got a perfect entry there. You've got the red dot, stochastics just coming out of the extreme there. Wow, I'm going to get in that. Hang on a minute. Still in an uptrend. I don't know whether it's going to go. Might get some pullback. Just wait. Wait. Wait till price closes below the 20 MA. This has turned red. You can see now, EO MACD. You see the orange and the green are getting wider. Right? If we look at this down here, the stochastic is down in the extreme, getting towards it. Now, people say you shouldn't be taking a trade when it's down there. Why not? That can go down to zero. Everything's pointing to it now that this is going to go into a downtrend, right? So you get in on this candle here, this one. Look there, 4.85. Where does it end up? Down here, 25 pips. You know, I think we get 5 pips out of that.
So on this, Les, do you, with the new indicator, the AOMACD, do you not look at the Bollinger Bands as much as you normally would?
I tend to forget about them, actually.
Yeah.
Bollinger Bands, yeah, you can see they do act like right. The history of the Bollinger Bands on the indicator, right, is it gets political, right, because David Kahn is a big Bollinger Band fan, right, so the Bollinger Bands went on to make him happy, right, it's as simple as that. You don't need them on. You don't need them on. Look at this. Post out the Bollinger Bands went all the way up there. Yeah, the Bollinger Bands are like elastic band. They're a good thing to look at, and you can see, well, we're getting into an area of consolidation now, like here, right? And that's like this area here, this whole area. I'll just turn that auto support off so we can see it a bit better. This area here, it's consolidation, and it's reflected in the EO MACD all the way along there. Not much movement in there. But let's look at the time this is happening, right? Let's look at the time this is happening when this consolidation occurs. What's the movement here? Starts to settle down. Bollinger Band start to narrow. Oh, what time is this? What time are we on? Midnight. 1 o'clock, 1:30. We're in the Asian range here, aren't we? What happens, right? What happens? Coming out here, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, what happens? We get a BYOB down. We're starting to see some movement here. We see some manipulation, right? All the way along here. Price starts moving, and then every now and then it'll just go up or wherever it wants to go. So you've just got to understand what's happening. And the only way you can do that is if you trade. What happens is people tend to just take every currency pair, trade, alert, and just narrow it down. Maybe just trade 5. If you just trade 5 pairs and get used to what's going on and understand what's happening and different times of the day, understand what happens on a Monday, understand what happens on a Tuesday, just concentrate on Euro USD news. What you've got to remember is the USD dollar, the United States dollar, is the base currency for everything in Forex, right? So whatever happens on USD affects every other currency pair, whether it's GBP, Chef, Euro Chef, EUD, JPY. Whatever happens on that USD, it's gonna affect every currency pair. So Euro USD is a good one. I like USD CAD. Go to USD CAD. Come off the 15-minute, go to the 1 hour. And if you look at what happens on the 1 hour on USD CAD, you just think, well, I'm just going to trade this all the time, man. Look at that. On the 1 hour. Look at that. BYB down. Red dot. Stochastic. Will I get in there? Oh, no, I'll just wait. Oh, I'll get in here. Oof. I'll get in down there. Okay. 200 pip move. 1 hour. It's a fantastic time frame. Yeah, you've got to have a bit of patience. Get in there. Stop loss. I know people keep going on about stop losses. Stop loss is going to be up here, where the PSAR is. You're going to have a 40 pip stop loss on that. I guarantee you that you won't need it. Once that starts moving, 20 pips profit, get your stop loss up to break even, +1, +10, put it wherever you like. Have a risk-free trade. Put the auto support on. Let's see what's happening here. Trade it from there down to this one. Get in here. Have that as your take profit. 50 pips. Doesn't matter about the rest. You're not leaving pips on the table, as people say. The rules: 1 behind, 1 below, or 1 in front, right? Be picky, be choosy. Only take the ones where it's 1 below. You don't have to take every trade that comes along. You do not have to take every trade. That's why it's so important, right? It's so important. I mean, that went up there for about 25 pips. But you're trading against the trend. You've got the downtrend here. After this big one, do you really want to honestly take that BYOB up when everything is telling you it's down? It's in a downtrend. Do you really want to take that against the trend? Yeah, you might get your 20 pips, but why don't you just wait? Just wait and see what happens. Wait and let this come up. Right? If you get in there and you think, oh yeah, well that's it. Yeah, that's the low. It's going to go up now. Then what does it do? It stalls, comes back, and it makes a lower low. Right? This here, where it's coming up now, it needs to come up here and it needs to break this high up here. Where it needs to go before you're going to get into an uptrend now, it needs to break this structure up here. So you only want to be doing sells in this. That's the way I look at it. And that'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Right, I know
That's
I've gone
awesome.
on. I know I've gone on a hell of a lot there, so sorry about that.
No, thanks, mate.
No, it's good.
If there's listen, anything at all, if you want us to come back on, do some live trading, I can certainly do that. I'm not a 5-minute trader. I'm not a scalper. If I do it on the 1 hour and it moves, I might just say I'm just going to take 10 out of this, because what I want to say to you is that on this spreadsheet, right, and this is the last thing I'll say. This spreadsheet here will change your life, because this is your trading plan, right? And these lot sizes are your trading plan, right? This is your trading plan. So your account balance could be 200. This is in dollars. You can do it as pounds. Doesn't matter. And proper risk means, right, risking 1% of your account. You need 60 pips a day, right, to make $12, right? And this is how this works. At the end of the week, you'll accrue your account by $60 and you withdraw 10%. And that's how this works. And this is what I stick to. Grow your account by 30% a week. That's what I do. Grow my account. Last week it was 43. This week it's been a funny week. Markets have been funny, but I've still done 31%. Still done me 31%. So I'm drawing 10% out every week, every Friday. Every Friday after 3, that order goes in, 10%. I'm rewarding myself for this. It's great, 10% a day, 10 pips a day, compounded. But, you know, I want the money. I'm doing this full time. This is my job now, so I want the money. I'm not going to, you know, I do leave it in sometimes. And I might not withdraw it some months, but, you know, I want to be able to withdraw the money. I want to reward myself, which is really important. At the end of the week, if I've done like 11, 12, 1,300 quid in a week, if I'm doing like 300 quid a day, which is pretty normal, at the end of the week, I want to have a slice of that pie. I don't want to be, yeah, it's great to leave it in there and compound it, but I'm like anybody else. I've got bills to pay. I've got stuff to do. I've got, you know, I've got things I need to pay for. So this is what I did.
Liz, would you mind sending that Excel over and we could put it in, because I've done like a little group for us. So
Yeah, it's in the units.
Yeah, if it's in the units, mate, I'll just know that out of there.
Download
That's
it.
all right.
Yeah, it's in the units. Just download it. It's in my unit. I put it in my
Cool.
unit. I think it's unit 16. Just go in there and download it. You can have it. Then you can just put in here. Well, the only two things you need to worry about is this and this. So if your account balance is $200 and you're going to trade 5 days a week, right, I would recommend that your goal is probably 20. Use either low risk or medium risk and go for 20 or 15 to 20 pips a day. That's what I do.
Okay.
Les, this sort of falls into a question I've got. Just quickly, I know before I started, I was messaging you, and even though I know Sean and Dean were in it before me, and I know them personally, I was still a bit skeptical of it. Obviously, being in it a little while now, I can see probably within a year's time, I could probably quit my job too. But still, to me, it's a little bit daunting having to leave a security of a job to do trading full time. So, do you think there'd be people like that could support in that stage when I get to that stage of leaving my job? Because I know I spoke to Paul briefly about it. I don't know, and I don't need to see numbers, but do you have an accountant when you left your job that sorts out all your trading stuff? Or
well, right. I've got an accountant, right, because I've got another business. What I mentioned before. Well, I've got an accountant, right, but I use a particular accountant, right, who specialises in network marketing, in direct sales, right. It's called DSL Accountants. They're really good. If I tell you I haven't paid tax for 9 years, don't spread that around. Well, I have. I've paid a little bit.
That's what I was going to ask, because I feel like the tax with trading is a little bit of a grey area. Because people telling me you don't get taxed, people telling me you can. They will dig their noses in.
Okay. Do not put yourself down in any way, shape, or form to HMRC as a self-employed Forex trader. Right? You are a speculative trader. Trading on Forex is speculative, right? It's very risky and it's speculative, right? We are speculating on the Forex, on the foreign exchange markets.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a speculative trader, it is tax-free.
Well, doesn't matter how much you make.
No, doesn't matter how much you make. Now, if you are at all worried about that, right, all you have to do is open a spread betting account, right? And you can take exactly the same trades. I mean, Oanda, I've got a broker's account with Oanda as well. This isn't me. I've got 4 broker's accounts, by the way. I've got a broker's account with Oanda. You get 1 to 100 on them, but if you're brand new, you only get 1 to 30. They have a spread betting account, but the likes of like IG Markets and people like that, these big ones, they have got spread betting accounts, which is tax free anyway. Now, the reason I've mentioned that is when you get to a stage where you've got, and listen, I'm going to be totally honest with you here. You don't need 100,000. You don't need a 6-figure broker account to become financially free, right? You don't need that. What we're doing here, and this is really important, what you need to understand, we are leveraging other people's money, which allows us to trade. So you do not need a large amount of money in your account to maybe where you're at a stage where it's going to replace your income. Now, to answer your question, Connor, if you're working, you work and you keep your job, right, until you get to the stage where you're thinking to yourself, I don't need to do this. When you get to that stage, you will know, right? And then you can leave work. You will have replaced your income and more. Because what's going to happen is the trading will become more and more important to you. The more successful you become, you'll be getting more and more. It'll become more and more important to you. You'll want to devote more and more time to it, right? We're in unique circumstances at the minute, right? But what's going on with the virus and lockdown and stuff like that, we've got a lot of time now, right? Now there's going to come a time where we're going to have to go back to work, right? So what's going to happen is you're either going to go straight back into work mode, and your trading is going to suffer, or you're going to be thinking when you go back to work, well, I've got to go back because I'm not ready to quit my job yet. I haven't got enough to replace my income yet. But when I get to that stage, I'm going to quit on, I'm going to pack my job in. But, getting back to your question, you're not going to get any financial advice from anybody in the group because we're not financial advisors. But from my own personal circumstances, if you want an accountant, there's a great accountant called DSL. I use them, cost me 37 quid a month, about 400 quid a year. They do me tax return. I send everything into them. And I think I only paid I paid 500 quid tax last year.
Not bad.
If you've got a partner who works part-time, it doesn't matter how much you earn, you'll never pay any tax. So you need to get a good accountant for that. When I'm saying DSL, I haven't got an affiliate link with them, anything like that. That's what I use.
All right.
If you want to go off and use anybody else, you can. But DSL specialise in, from a business point of view, it might resonate more with Sean, who's building a business, extra to the trading. They're really good for like direct sales companies and stuff like that. So they can certainly help you out there, and the fantastic accountants. And for 37 quid a month, I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, I know you might be at a stage where you cannot, where you're thinking, well, £37 a month, I don't know where I can afford that, but it'll save you more. It's free. It's free, really. It's free. It's really free. And your records, when you're trading, you'll get a statement from your broker, from IC Markets. They'll email you a statement every day, tell you what your trading's been doing. They'll show all your trades. You'll get a statement from them. You also get one every month, right? So save all them, because that is proof of income. So later on, right, I know you're young, so later on in about 12 months, 18 months time, when you're, you need all that, because when you want to buy your big houses and your fast cars and stuff like that, you'll need all that, so you need to keep it. You need at least, you can get mortgages and things like that if you want, with some, you'll need a mortgage broker.
Oh, okay. So deleting emails, we shouldn't do that. Keep all of them ones that they send to us.
Yeah, keep them all. Do you know all your statements you get?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay.
Keep all of them, save them, right? Download them, print them off if you like, but, download them somewhere and keep them safe, whether it's to the cloud if you've got Google Drive or Dropbox, or even if it's just downloading to your computer, just have them where you've and back them up as well, just in case anything happens. If your computer hard drive breaks, you need to put them in a cloud somewhere as well, so you've got access to them, because that's all proof of income, right? And you know, you're going to need that later on to show people that, you know, that that you've got the income, and that you can, you know, and you need at least 12 months, preferably 2 to 3 years for later on. But listen, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I know it's tough. I was the same. I've been through the journey, and I'm still on it. It is tough. It is tough in the beginning, because you're thinking, this doesn't work. You haven't got the belief yet. You've done it on demo, yeah, and you're thinking, it's just pretend stuff anyway. It doesn't matter whether I win or lose. Well, I'm winning. It's winning. It's great. Oh yeah, I've stuck 100 quid in an account now, and like, oh, I don't know, like I've gone into 5 pips drawdown, yeah. And what's changed? What's changed from demo to live?
Nothing.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing different? You're not doing anything different. You've just changed accounts. And like I say, what I had to do to get away from to put the fear thing to one side is I just look at the pips. It's as simple as that. I don't equate any money to it at all until I get the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on a Friday, and then I think, right, yeah, I'm going to take 10% of this out today, stick it in my bank, I'll have it on Monday, great. And then you know, it's a great feeling. But like I said before, you need thousands, but not tens of thousands, right? Oh, you don't need that much to become financially free, to where you're just sitting and making. Like I've said today, I've done 3 trades today. Yeah, it's a bank holiday, I know that, but I've done 3 trades today. Got 300 quid in the bank. It's happy days, isn't it?
Yeah. Tax free, lovely.
Tax free. Do that 5 days a week. You know, it's like 4, whatever that is. What's that? 4 to 6 grand averaging. You know, a month now, every 4 weeks, Monday to Friday. You know, and I mean, you don't share, but it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get more. I mean, my lot sizes now for next week's going to be like $20, $21, $22, something like that. And I'm not really, you know, and it's all in proportion. It's like I'm only risking a certain percentage of my account, and the trick is it's just knowing when to call it a day, and knowing saying, yeah, I'll have to take this loss, because there's always another trade, always another trade, always. The hardest part is just hitting that button to either get out of it or get in it. And when you're in it, you want to be out of it. And when you're out of it, you know, you think, I wish I'd stayed in. It's like it just plays with your mind all the time. And I suffer from it as well. You know, Rob Huntley, I mentioned him earlier on. He said, you know, that he doesn't, he likes to scalp because he doesn't like to hold trades overnight. I've got to tell you, I've took a bankers trade, which is triggered. I'm in slight profit on that. I'm about 6 pips up on that. I'm going to be holding that over the weekend now. The markets are going to close, so fingers crossed. But I've got a tight stop loss. I've got a 10 pip stop loss on it. So I'm prepared to take the risk for the reward. So that's another thing on the side, but I'm using really small lot size on. I've only got $5 a pip on that. Right, I've only got $5 a pip on that one. So I'm risking, you know, just like a minute percentage of my account on that. So if I lose $50, well, fair enough, you know. That's the way I look at it. So that's it. I don't know if there's anything else you want us to talk about, or have I missed anything?
That's great, mate. That's great.
No, I appreciate that.
Have I covered everything? I mean, I know there's...
There'll probably be questions that I'll get asked over the next couple of days, but it's fine. It's just some people don't like talking on air, and they either put it in the message, but no, it's just everyone's learning. Like, these guys have only been in like 3, maybe 4 weeks, so it's just absorbing stuff. That's all.
It's going to take, to be honest with you, it's going to take you about 3 months to get your head around what's going on and get it all out your system and stuff like that. At least 3 months, you know. But you really want to, you know, the best advice I can give you is just pick one and stick to it and get really good at it, which you will. Whichever one it is. If you're doing John's Head and Shoulders, it's great stuff. It's fantastic stuff. You'll make loads of pips doing it. But like to me, I've been there and done all that. But to me, it's like, yeah, you only really need 10. You know, I mean, I'd go for 20, me. I've done 23 pips today. So, you know,
Cool.
the longer you're in a trade, the more pips you go for, the more things can go wrong. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Question for you, quick, Les.
Yeah.
So are you finding you're doing less 25 to lifes now due to your account size?
Yeah.
You're sticking more to the BYOB
Dean,
stuff?
if you just hang on one second, right? Because I'm going to have to nip the toilet. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
Oh. That's great. It's cool. If you guys have got any questions or anything, don't be afraid to ask. Like you're probably asking yourself, well, what's this and what's that? Just it's the whole reason of this session, guys, is to kind of nab Les for a little while and kind of quiz him, because where he is where all of us want to be. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Like no question is a stupid question. Yours is like, yeah, I'm all over this like 5 minute like BYOB. I'm gonna smash that.
Fucking right.
This is why I only went for my 3% on that trade yesterday.
What's that?
Like I got my free that trade yous were doing yesterday.
What the one that Connor called, the bankers one? Yeah.
Great shout, Connor.
I got my 3% on 16 pips.
Good.
You know.
Good. This is
It shows even with big, obviously increase your lot size.
Yeah. This is a good thing about this is why I say it all the time. This is why I love this group, because there's like nothing negative. Everyone's trying to help everyone. You know what I mean? It's, even if I got offered to join another group for free, I wouldn't go anywhere. This group will make you successful if you stick to the rules and you kind of listen to people that are experienced. There's no reason why you can't do well. Yeah, no.
Hey, I'm back. Right, you can. Right, Dean. What was it? What did you ask us? Sorry, I forgot that.
Right. So obviously, educationally, you do quite a bit of 25 to life, don't you, bud?
Yeah.
So are you finding yourself doing less of them now personally because of your account size and mainly sticking more to BYOB?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, fair play. Like this is what I done yesterday. So Connor called a trade yesterday, and I think the take profit was like 25 or 40 odd pips. I think it was something like that.
40 pips, yeah.
And I like BYOB, so I try to stick with that. But I managed to get my 3% from the 16 pips, and then that's when I just came out. And a couple of the guys were asking, well, why did you come out? How did you get your 3% at 16 pips and all this? And I just explained it to them, like that you can still, even though someone's called a larger trade, you can still use the BYOB theory behind it.
Yeah. Yes, you can. All I would say is, yes, you have knowledge, right? You can use 25 to life, and you can maybe, I mean, I do it on occasion. I'll get into a BYOB trade, and it might go against us. And like I've said earlier on, I'll probably switch into maybe bankers mode or stuff like that, and maybe look at stuff and thinking, well, where's this price going to go? What do I need to do here? Do I need to get out? Will I close the trade? Will I stay in? I'm asking all these questions. Do I need to, I do move stop losses, right? You know, the people that say to you, oh, the Cardinal, once you put your stop loss in, it's got to stay there. I don't. I move mine. Right? Oh, I do. You know, I'm guilty of it. But I'll only move it to a point where I'm saying, right, that's it. I may be thinking, right, I've misjudged this trade when I've entered it, and it's gone against us, and maybe I'm like 20 pips in drawdown, and I'm thinking, well, do I, you know, where's this going to go? Am I going to go 100 pips in drawdown? If I am, have I got enough in my account to manage that? I'm not going to get a margin call. I'm not going to go 50% over and stuff like that. And can I manage this? Will it affect anything else I want to do? If I want to take another trade and so, and I mean, it's like I am talking a little bit more advanced now, but all this plays on my mind when I'm in a trade now. But you know, just getting back to the 25 to life thing. The 25 to life is a great strategy for a set and forget type thing, right? And never ever, right, underestimate how powerful it is. It's just, I find it BYOB just suits me for what I want to do. I can come in and I can just look at the trade and I can do it. I mess about with the charts for a bit. And I'm the reason I've switched back to it is because the amount of time I was spending looking at charts. Going over them and stuff, and I was thinking, yeah, Les, how you've got to get a grip here. You're spending like flipping 8 hours a day looking at charts and stuff like that. Don't get us wrong, it's great when you can just say, oh yeah, I done 6 pips stop loss and I went on and done 180 pips. Don't get us wrong, you know, but at the end of the day, it's just like an ego thing, man. You know, you go for 180 pips, right? It's like I'm in a trade now there, EUD, USD. Bankers trade, right? I'm using a $5 per pip thing, right? I'm going for like something like 280 pips or something, right? And I'm risking like $50 to win 1,000 or something like that, right? That's what it's working out. That's right. So to me, it's worth the risk, right? So that's the way I look at it. But it's a lot easier, right? It's a lot easier to just go for your 10, right? Because you're going to get your 10 in that day, right? You're going to get your 10 the same day. What I found is, if I'm in, and this is the thing, right? If you over leverage and you are worried about the trade, you have a stop loss on and stuff like that. When you over leverage, what tends to happen is, right, and you are in a trade, and let's just say you want to go to bed, right? And you may well have been in this position. I don't know. You constantly wake up. It's in the back of your mind. You're waking up. You're checking your phone. You're seeing what's happening with the trade. Where's it at? Has it done this? Has it done that? You do not want to be in that position. That's not what this is all about. And I've done that. I've been there. I've put trades on. I've went to bed and I've woke up every like hour and like, oh, get me food. What's happening? Oh, I'm 10 pips and drawdown. Oh, I'm 5. All right. Back up. Oh, what's happening? It's like that's not what this is all about. To me personally, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be waking up every hour. I don't want to be looking at charts 8 hours a day. Yeah, the banker strategy stuff's great. The 25 to life stuff's great. Looking at head and shoulders patterns and drawing lines on and zones and neck lines and stuff. Yeah, it's all great stuff. But I don't want to do that. I just want to get me 20 pips, me 15, 20 pips and get in and get out. And that's it. I'm done for the day. And then just count me money at the end. Get me spreadsheet up and see, right, that's it. What do I need to do tomorrow? The only thing I would say about that spreadsheet is I compound it every day. That's how I've got rapid account growth. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen there. But just going back to that spreadsheet on here, see that you put 200 and it says use these lot sizes for 5 trading days. What I do is if I start with 200, right, and I go and I get me 20 pips, right, and let's just say my balance has gone up 212. What I do is I just type in there 212, right, and then the next day that's my target, right. Oh, next day I've done that. Let's just say I've got 230 in. You can see the lot sizes start changing now. That's how you get growth on your account. The pips don't change, the lot sizes do. And that's what I do. So it just goes up to 245. Right, lot sizes is up. Right, you're up to $1 a pip now. This is what I normally do, medium risk. Another $14, $15. Let's just say it goes up to 260. Goes up again. And then the end of the week, last day, maybe I'm on 280 or something. That's it. Gets to 280, end of the week, just draw out that. I'll just draw 10% now. If it's 280, if I've got 280 there on a Friday, I'll draw $28 out. And then the next week, I'll just start with what it says on here.
So with the 5 currencies you do, Les, are all the lot sizes the same? Because as you know yourself, like different currencies require different lot sizes to get your 3% or whatever.
Yeah. I just go off this.
You just go off that. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just go off that. I don't worry too much about using currency calculators and position size calculators. I'll just go off this. It's not entirely accurate. Yeah, you're going to be out a bit. Some you're going to win more, some you're going to win less. At the end of the day, it all goes in the wash. If my target's $16.80 a day and I do $15, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like too fussed about it. This is a spreadsheet, so you cannot really work out my currency. Again, I'm not saying I trade 5 currencies, but what I'm saying is to start. Maybe that's what you want to look at. But sometimes, and I've got the harmonic scanner up there because I want to show you. Sometimes I'll look at a scan like this, right? So you've got a scan here. It doesn't matter what broker it is, EUDJPY. All I'll do is I'll look at the scanner and I'll measure from the D to the C or C to the D, and I'm seeing, yeah, there's 170 pips in that. And I'll just trade that for the week. EUDJPY. I'll go on here and I'll think, right, okay. Put BYOB on. Got it saved on here. Go to EUDJPY. It's telling me, right? Oh, it's moved a bit there. We'll go on the 15-minute one. That's it there.
I didn't know Harmonics could do this. I didn't know you
could I'll just go on there. See what I've got set up there? Got the stochastic on. I mean, I've got the vortex on here. I don't really use it anymore. But take that off. It'd be on there. But yeah, I'll just wait for the flip. Well, what is the harmonic scanner telling me? Yeah.
An uptrend.
No, but what's it telling us? What does the harmonic scanner do?
It's got to come back down. Yeah. It's on the D point,
isn't it? It's going to go down, isn't it? So what am I going to do if the harmonic scanner is telling me this is going down? And I look at the stochastic where it is, and this is going to go down. So what am I going to do?
Spend the rest of the week on a sell, potentially.
What am I going to do? I'm going to go to trading view down here. Click on that. I'm going to start up an alert, and I'm going to wait for that to flip, and I'm going to see, yeah, everything's lined up. Let's go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to set my alert up, and I'm going to trade that. I'm going to say, right, I'm going to trade this every time it flips. I'm going to go down and trade it down. It's telling me it's going to be a sell. Yeah, there's a few things I can look at and scroll out and think, well, it's actually in an uptrend, or it could be in a downtrend, or, it's a bit confusing that, but I'm just going to let BYOB tell me when to get into this. USD card, do the same. Look, let's measure that from there up to there, 262 pips in that. And all I'm saying to myself is, well, this is indicating that this is going to be a buy. So let's have a look and see what we've got. SARS flipped here. We haven't got the flat bottom candle. stochastics down here. So yeah, I'm just going to wait. Maybe put an alert on that. That's what I do. You can use it like that. This is what I did. I didn't have vibrator, and I just use that. I mean, I only have vibrator for the live sessions. It costs us $20 a month, but well, it's less actually, $17. But that's all I do. That's all I do. I mean, even there, look, this is telling you this one NZD USD. Let's have a look. SARS flipped. We've got the flat bottom here, right? We've got the flat bottom there. Look at the tiny wick on that. Flat bottom there, right? But with 7 pip, it's come back. Probably 3 pips draw down on that. It's on its way back down again. I would just go straight to the trading view and look at the indicator and just see what it's setting up and look at the EO MACD. You kind of put the EO MACD on here. So I've got to go across there. I'll probably look at that. I mean, even that one there. This is the thing about these brokers. You've got to check. So I'm going to look at the 7 o'clock candle from today on NZD USD. Go on there. NZD USD. I'm on the 15-minute. Let's take that off. Let's have a look at the 7 o'clock candle. There it is there, look. Let's get rid of those lines. There's the 7 o'clock candle there. Right. It doesn't give us the red dot. So well, I'm gonna get in this. It's not right. You know what I mean? That's it. Still, I'm just going to wait for the next one. Look, there's the next one there. It just happened. We've had the pullback up there. I've got another one. We haven't had the B. The next dot's going to be a green dot, by the way. You know, the next dot's going to be green. You never get 2 greens or 2 reds or anything like that. The next dot's going to be green. So we're in a downtrend now, or coming up to it. We need this to go below the 0 line. Stochastic pulling up, but it's starting to tail off a bit. So this could well continue in a downtrend. We've missed the move on that, on the 15-minute, right? So let's go up to the 30-minute and see what's happening on there. 30-minute, 1 hour. Missed it on there. So yeah, we'll just forget about that one for now. And that's all I do. That's all I do. GBP, JPY. Just you know, use this stuff. It's free, you know. Use it to your advantage. Let's have a look here. There it is there, look at. That is on 6:15 candle. Measure that. You would add some drawdown there. It's gone on to do about 12, 13 pips. 6:15 candle. I'm just back testing here, by the way. I'm just having a look at what might have been. GBP, JPY. 15-minute time frame. 6:15 candle. You wouldn't have got in that, would you? You wouldn't have got in it. You haven't got it matching up. It's 2 behind. Dot there. It's in consolidation anyway.
Les, regarding patterns like the shark or the butterfly, do you tend to stay away from any particular one, or are you just happy as long as they're lining up?
Just use them all.
Use them all.
Use them all, yeah. I know. If you want to learn all about them, just go into the academy and do the market geometry series 400 and, you know, fill your boots with that. Like,
sorry, that's just a quick one, mate. Stochastics at the bottom. This is a real beginner question, but when you say it's in the extreme, do you mean it's outside of the purple patch, so either above or below?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make a difference, for argument's sake, if it's above and it comes in for a sell, you still go on it, or vice versa if it's below. It doesn't matter.
It depends on the MACD.
Yeah.
It depends on the MACD. So for this one, if we look at this, Euro JPY, I mean, this is a great pair to trade, by the way. If we look at this, it would be here, right? So 10 o'clock this morning, right? We've got the SAR's flipped. We've got the flat bottom candle, 10 o'clock this morning. Stochastic has been in the extreme, just come out of it. So, you know, if you can imagine this scan appearing at 9 o'clock this morning, the scan has come on a 15-minute time frame. You can look at this, you can see, all right, yeah, okay. Put the BYOB on, let's see what happens. You can't put an alert on this, but you can go and you can certainly do it on TradingView, right? So I'm assuming that we would have got the alert on the 10 o'clock candle this morning. So we'll just go to Euro JPY on the 15-minute. And we know what's going to happen. 10 o'clock this morning. That's it there. BYOB, you've got the alert there. The only thing is the green dot doesn't come till 2 candles later. And there's a reason for that, because you can see it goes into consolidation. Then it goes up, right? So it's important that this green dot is either just one ahead, one behind, or one below. The ideal scenario, what you're looking for all the time, in my book, what I look for all the time, is that I want that dot directly below there. I've got the stochastic on here. I would want that below at least 40. I want it down there. I want it to have been in the extreme and coming up before, or maybe you would go in for a trade. You're just looking for the right setups. And that's the hardest part. It's staying out of these trades. Staying out of them. So, yeah, we haven't had the BYOB down. But this one here, looking at where it is now, the next one we're going to get up, it's still in an uptrend, right? It's still going up. The next, we're going to get a green dot on here, right? And we're going to get a BYOB up again at some point. No, we're not. The SAR's flipped. So yeah, we can just forget about that. I mean, it's just how I use them, and just looking at them, and it's just how I use them. Well, why not? Why not?
It's good because it gives us another insight into BYOB as well, because there were people that were in the group that were doing really well from BYOB. So, and yeah, they'll love this because it's kind of just added more onto what they're doing, whereas some people have just turned their back on it because they've just never got on with it from the beginning. So everyone's different, but it's no, it's good.
There you go. Nice little 25 to life trade on that as well.
Mm. Yeah.
Breakout, retest. If you're brave, get in there. Comes down here. Down there. So
Yeah.
whichever one you want to use, you've got like a 9 pip stop loss there on a 15-minute to go for 11, 12 pips. That's what you want to go for. But to me, 15-minute time frames, 10 pips maximum. 10 pips. That's all you want. Stuff like this, 25 to life, 10 pips. Right? I know it's called 25 to life. If you're doing it on a 15-minute time frame, just get you 10 pips. Because most 25 to life you'll get 10 pips. Most of them. Right? Yeah, 25 pips or whatever. Just get the 10. Get the 10, get out. Don't worry about it.
I've definitely found with 25 to life, the amount of times I've gone to it and then we've aimed for TP1 and I've been in profit and it hasn't hit TP1, and you kind of kick yourself because you're like, oh, I was up as well, and
you've got to get into the habit. And I'll tell you this now, even with BYOB, I use Exit Manager, not all the time, but I do use Exit Manager, and I've got a setting for BYOB. As soon as I hit 6 pips, my stop loss goes straight to +1. straight to +1. I've got a risk-free trade. And then from that point on, I can either walk away, or if I'm thinking, oh, it looks like it's going to come back and maybe hit 1 pip, I'll just close the trade and get out at like 5 or 4 pips or something like that. Because it's all profit at the end of the day. If I've got to go away, if I've got to leave, I'm not looking at the computer or whatever it is, and I've got to go and do something, and it hits 1 pip, well, that's it. You know, I haven't lost anything. You know what I mean? I've got 1 pip, I'll just look at the next one. So
would that 1 pip cover your commission though? Because obviously you're using quite
correct.
a big lot size.
That's correct.
Yeah.
1 pip covers the commission. So I'm at break even.
Okay.
That's correct. So I get out of there without losing anything. That's why I always go for +1. 25 to life is a little bit different, depending on how many pips you're going for. You really, you really want to be taking profit out, like have a target at maybe 15 pips or something like that, depending on what the 75% line's telling you. Or if you're going down here for TP1, right? If you're going down here, from here down to here for TP1 on a 25 to life, you want to be looking at this up here. You want to be just when it gets to this 75% line, because you've got to understand with 25 to life that these are Fibonacci ratios, and the 75% and the 25% and the 0 are like important in the scheme of things of how this strategy works. So the strategy is that it's always going to go to the 75%. You can decide to go for TP1 or TP2 if you want, right? But this is the area where it gets to the 75%, where you'll be saying, right, if it gets to there, my stop loss is going to break even, or +1 or +2, or I'm going to take partial profits out. Maybe if you're using, you know, whatever lot size it is, maybe you want to take 50% out when it gets to 10 pips. If you take 50% out, that means you've got 5 pips anyway, if at your full lot size. And then you can just let the rest run. And then if it comes back, put a trail and stop on as well. You know, one of the other things you need to get a grasp of and understand is trade management. When you're in these longer trades where you're going for a little bit few more pips, you need to manage the trade when you're in it. So, you know, that's the best advice I can give on that. It's all about trade management when you're in them, these longer ones.
Cool. No, I appreciate your time tonight, mate. You know,
Yeah,
loads of information. I'll stick this in. So we have like a little mini group for us lot. So we have like a unit section similar to the main group. So this all our Zoom sessions, because we try and do a couple a week. I'll just add that in there, and then the guys that weren't on tonight can then go over this. So no, I appreciate that, mate, because it's been really informative. So
yeah, I didn't mean to stay on this long. All I would say is that from, you know, it's a mindset thing. You've got to try and conquer your fear of losing, right? Because that's what's probably going on when you go from demo to live. You know, and use like really small lot sizes. Do 0.01, where you know the smallest lot size you can do. Use that and do your trades. But honestly, I'm not doing anything. Well, hopefully you've got that. I'm not doing anything too much different to what BYOB tells us. I'm just using the tools to find me the trades, and hopefully, you know, they'll set me up for that. The only other thing I do, and I'll just show you here quickly, is I do separate them. You can only do this on the Pro. I do separate them by session, right? So I've got Asian Pacific. I do have Euro pairs. I do have GBP pairs. I do have London, New York crossover pairs. I do have London. And of course, I've got the majors. These are the major pairs: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These 10 pairs 75% of the $6.6 trillion a day is traded on just these 10 pairs. Right? So you, as a starting point, you maybe just want to maybe look at these. Euro Chefs on there. Don't like that. I don't like Euro GBP neither. So you missed them two out. But the rest, they're good pairs to trade because there's a lot of money being traded on them. You're always going to have some volatility there. GBP USD, that's called Cable. It's like the oldest one. It's a good one to trade. USD card, I really like that one. USD Chef, I don't mind USD Chef at all. It moves differently to what the other ones do. GBP Chef as well. GBP Swiss francs, a good pair. It's not on here. But yeah, I mean, just start with them 10. And you know, if you go on and you think, oh, well, I've missed the move on that, just go through the time frames. 5 minutes, back up, 15, 30, setting up yet. Missed that one. 45, 1 hour. Just go up through them. 4 hour. Don't be frightened. Don't be frightened. Go up through these time frames because this BYOB works on them all. And just stick to the rules, and I think you'll be absolutely fine. Right, well, this is why the live sessions came about. You know, it was like people were joining and then just going off and trading. I think well, really important. You know, to get in there and try and understand what's going on. But yeah, I think, you know, that's it. But yeah, you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can. Honestly, I'm nothing special. I'm an ex-sailor and a forklift truck driver. No special about me, honestly. I just dedicated a little bit of time to it and went round the houses like what you're doing now, and then just come back to BYOB and said, yeah, this is it. I'm just going to get stuck into this and just do it. And you will develop a style which is unique to you, but which will become successful for you. And that, you know, that's probably it. That's all I can see on it.
Master your trade, basically.
What's that? Sorry.
Master your trade.
You're exactly right. Just pick one. Just pick one. The best advice I can give you.
Stick to it. Master your trade. Thank you very much, mate. Inspiration.
Cheers, Adam. Thank you. So
thank you, mate, for tonight.
I don't know what you want to do, Sean.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no.
Cheers, guys. You know.
No, thank you, mate. You'll get probably a few messages from some of the guys just to give you a heads up because they were doing a lot tonight. So.
Yeah, listen. I'll help anybody, right? Because I want you to do what I'm doing, right? Honestly, I've got no. Sean will tell you this. I've got no financial interest in this because none of you are in my team. I'm not going to make any money out of this, but you know, I'm more than happy to help you. If you do messages, just understand that I might not reply to you immediately. Because I do get a lot of messages, and obviously I've got a life to live and stuff like that. So, you know, if you start messages and saying, have a look at this chart, Les, what do you think, and stuff like that, I'll probably not respond to it. But, you know, because sometimes I just can't be bothered to look at them. But, you know, I will try and help you wherever. But, Sean, if you want me to jump on and do a live session, anytime, if you want us to trade, you know, in the morning, afternoon, or something like that, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, mate.
Obviously, I'll not be on 2 hours. But,
yeah, no, thank you.
You know, I haven't got a problem with that, and I'll just show you what I do. And again, I mean, it's boring. That's the thing. It's boring, but I can talk you through. I can find a trade, and I can look at it and say, look, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm thinking, and this is why I'm going to take this trade, or this is why I'm not going to take it. And, you know, and then I can say, this is why I'm going to stay in it, even though I'm in 15 pips drawdown. I'm going to stay in this one because I think it's going to come back. If it goes up any further and it reaches this point, what I'm going to do is if it reaches this point and bounces off it and starts coming back down, I'm going to take another trade and trade it down for 5 or 10 pips. You know, that's the way I do it. All right, okay. Thanks for all the messages, guys. I really appreciate it. Sean, thank you for you know, inviting us on here.
Cool. No, I appreciate you coming, mate, and giving up your time. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, Les.
I will. Connor,
Cheers, bud.
Connor, I don't know what you want to ask us, but you can ask us now unless you want to ask us privately. It's up to you.
Cool.
No, go on.
Are you there? Connie, you there? Right.
No, it's all right.
He's
He'll probably send us a message.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Les.
Cheers, Les.
Cheers. And good luck with everything. I'm sure you will all be successful.
Cheers,
Thank you,
mate.
mate.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thanks very much.
See you later.
Good night. Good night.
Awesome. Right, guys, I'll end this now. I'll stop recording.
This way everyone asks questions.
You
now.
better not ask me questions. Les has been on for the last 2 hours. Right. I'll see you guys. Any
Yeah,
questions?
any
Ask me a
questions, get ignored.
messenger, and yeah, or message Les. But it's cool. I'll stop recording.